In this episode, we interview Gladys James, founder of the Gladys Giving Project, an organization on a mission to spread joy, love, and hope to the community throughout the year during holiday seasons. Awesome. So thanks everyone for tuning into this episode. This morning, we have Gladys James, who is the founder of the Gladys Giving Project. How's it going, Gladys?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Joseph?
I'm doing good. So, listeners, this is round two. My video just got messed up. So, we started this, but we're going to keep it going because I'm really excited to get in this conversation. So usually to start our interviews, Gladys, we ask for the mission statement. So what is the mission of Gladys Giving Project?
The mission of the Gladys Giving Project is to spread love, joy, and hope to the community throughout the year during holiday seasons.
All right. Boom. Now we'll get into how you're doing that. But before we get into the how, what is the why? Why you, Gladys, for the Gladys Giving Project?
Yeah. So I have been working in the nonprofit field now for about 20 years. Absolutely love everything about nonprofit. And I've been able to really connect and build relationships with a lot of other organizations where I've learned so much about, giving back to the community. And I think that's where I grew a lot of my passion. And during the pandemic, there were just like a lot of emerging needs and situations that I felt I could really support with. And so that was like the time where I decided to launch the Gladys Giving Project. But as far as like the passion really comes from about 15 years ago, I was in the hospital for 5 months. And during that time, it really kind of allowed me to rely on others to kind of help me with what I was going through. And I just remember being shown so much love, support, and joy and happiness, whether it was from my friends, family, other organizations in the community that would come to the hospitals, my doctors. And so I always said, I believe that love and joy that was given to me helped me get through a tough time in my life. And so I wanted to be able to give that back to others, no matter, what way I could contribute that. And so I feel like I'm doing that with the Gladys Giving Project. And it's been such a blessing to me. And I know it's been to the communities that I serve.
Awesome. Well, started during COVID. What were some of the initial activities that you were able to even do to kick off kind of the programming that is Gladys Giving Project?
Yeah, so initially I did a lot of partnering with other organizations, definitely with my church, with a lot of like the first responder kind of giving back opportunities, but really just finding different organizations who are kind of already going and helping and supporting with some of the emerging needs in the community, and then supporting as needed. So helping make care kits, helping provide resources to those who may be homeless or in shelters. And then one of the big things that I like to do when I do give back is create baskets. And so during different holidays throughout the pandemic, I was able to create these baskets and give it to the community at my events.
Yeah. Wow. So in terms of obviously the start during COVID, it may have been hard to rally some troops to help you put the baskets together, for example. What has been since the beginning to now, the kind of growth of the Gladys Giving Project? So is it kind of just a one-person operation that you're just doing your thing and supporting where you see the biggest need? Am I getting that wrong?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely think it kind of started that way, right? And I think, there's meaning behind that when you're so passionate about something, initially it's like, hey, whether I have a team of just myself or a huge team, I'm going to do it. But it definitely has grown over the years. More and more people are super excited and invested in this mission. And as I mentioned, because of my experience in the field already.
Right.
I've had a lot of opportunity to connect with other organizations who are like, yeah, let's partner together. Let's, work together to fulfill the greater mission, which is to help the community. So definitely a lot of family and friends,
Yeah.
supporters just through, the events that I've had. Sometimes like the families that I support, offer to volunteer. But currently, I am kind of like the guru, kind of
Oh, yeah.
pushing it. But I definitely do have people on board who are definitely supporting me.
Yeah.
And I have a few volunteers that are consistently helping.
Yeah. I know you shared the example of when you're in the hospital for
Yes.
many months.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there's was that the main motivation of like, I'm putting my head down, I'm going to do this. I had an amazing experience through the healing that I was able to experience through other people, with the help of other people. Was there any other aspect, or was that kind of has been your main driving force since the inception?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say that definitely
That
is
was a
the
catalyst.
driving force. Just knowing like how great I felt when I had people who, were doing things for me and organizations that were supporting me and my cause. It really just did something to me and kind of gave me purpose and meaning to life, right?
Yeah.
That like, if I'm able to persevere and kind of get through this and have all of this support, like I want to be able to do that for other people at a time where they may need it. And so sometimes some of my events are connected to partnering with hospitals or children who may, be sick or have disabilities or, oftentimes I love volunteering with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I've been a volunteer with them for many years. So I have grown to kind of expand this and not just kind of keep it to one category. And that's what I love about it. It's just throughout the year, we find a need, we find a cause, we find a purpose, and we give back.
Wow. What have been some recent, I guess, things that have come up or programs that you've done recently or events that you've had a focus on certain aspects of the community?
Yeah. So one of the biggest holidays that we give back during is Christmas and kind of this winter holiday season. So we just wrapped up a huge holiday celebration for Christmas. This was actually our second annual, holiday celebration for Christmas. And we were able to bless about 400 people during that time.
Wow.
And it was just so nice to be able to not only support, through our organization, but we partner with a lot of other organizations that helped us give back. And it was just so great because a lot of the families being supported were returning families who came last year. So just being able to continue that support with those families was great. So Christmas is definitely a big one. And it's generally one that we partner with a lot of other organizations to ensure that, the needs are being met when we have greater support. But definitely like Valentine's Day, we're currently working on a Valentine's Day.
That's coming up.
Yeah. It is coming up. It is actually this Saturday on the 11th. And so we're doing a huge kind of like spreading love Valentine's Day event. And so we have about 150 families that will be supported through that. We've been working with a lot of great organizations, Cradles to Crayons. It's super great. They've donated a lot of great things. Climb Zone Chicago has donated a gift card. Portillo's has donated a gift card. We've also been working with Volunteering Untapped, which is an organization that has a group of volunteers that come out to events and just help do stuff in the community, fill a heart for kids. I mean, there's just so many great organizations that, we've been able to partner with since we started 3 years ago. And it's just great to have the support to continue to give back to the community.
Yeah. And so you said the first event that you mentioned, I think you said 300 or 400 people were blessed. And then this upcoming event, you said you have 150 families planned to be served.
Yeah.
So when you say blessed and when you say served, what does that usually include? It's not, and you mentioned like the donations that people have provided, like crayons and gift cards. But what's
Absolutely.
being provided to the families and the people who have attended these events?
Yeah. So generally, when we kind of do the call and the reach out to the families, we tend to like ask them, are there specific needs or resources that they're in need of? And that's kind of how we generally compile together like what we're going to give out that day. But right now, because it's still kind of cold outside, winter kits and winter like resources are still needed.
Yeah.
So we're going to have tons of like hats and gloves and some coats. And we have a lot of families who ask for like books and arts and crafts and toys. We were able to have a food donation from Nando's on Clybourne. So this is the second time they're going to be donating food to our event. So everybody at the event will have free food. I created Valentine's baskets for the kids and the adults. So they'll get baskets. Candy, of course, right? Valentine's Day candy.
Especially if youth's there. You got to have candy.
Yes. And then we were able to get some gift card donations from Climb Zone Chicago, from Portillo's. And we also have one from Slew Move Institute, which is kind of like a slime sensory based place. So yeah, it's really just kind of reaching out to the families, kind of seeing like, is there a specific need that they currently have? And then we work together with other organizations to do our best to provide those resources.
Yeah, especially y'all starting during COVID. Like,
yes,
obviously,
absolutely.
you probably, I don't know if you're able to do too many like in-person events. Maybe you're doing outdoor events or something. But either way, like now that COVID is not as intense as it was, people can finally be amongst other people.
I know during COVID, there was a lot of like kind of like parking lot setups where people would just drive in and pick up things. And, it's funny you mentioned that because COVID did kind of change the trajectory of like, what does giving back look like? Like how do we still serve the community and remain safe while doing it? So it is good to kind of be back in person and kind of have that like, kind of humanistic way of like spreading love and joy.
Absolutely. So you don't have to be like handing your baskets through the car door as people come through their laps.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. So y'all have been around for almost a few years now. What is your hope of kind of the future? To continue like crushing it and making these baskets and supporting these families and partnering with the community organizations and just continuing on course?
Yeah. I mean, I think the future goal would definitely be to expand and create something where families can kind of have like a center or a resource center to kind of like have a hub where, the resources and the needs, a place where they can kind of get it in one spot. I think right now it's great to kind of, reach out and kind of let them know throughout the year, hey, this is what we're doing. But we do obviously understand that it's not just during holiday seasons that people need support. And so, oftentimes we do have families that reach out to us, maybe before a Valentine's Day or Christmas and express a need. And so right now we're just kind of like outsourcing and providing other organizations that could support. But it'd be great, eventually to have some type of, hub or center, where we can kind of house these things. And, as I'm sure you've heard probably from other organizations, oftentimes when you don't have like, a specific location or space, it can be a little challenging trying to consistently like book places to kind of host these events and stuff. So definitely, I think having in the near future, future some type of like hub and consistent like community center to be able to really expand this in a larger way. And then I think like globally, my parents and my background is from Nigeria. So I would love to be able to provide this type of support internationally. I love working with kids. So like, being able to give back to a community of kids, in Nigeria or just like any other country, I think would be amazing.
Yeah. Wow. I'm going to ask you to try to remember maybe some examples or an example of in the past few years. Is there any stories or any family or any kiddo that you remember interacting with where, you turn their frown upside down, or there's like a story where it pulled on your heartstrings specifically, or in terms of like sharing the impact of the organization, right? Yes. Usually these stories are really powerful. So I'm wondering if there's anything that you think of offhand to speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes in addition to the events, we often will partner with like schools or teachers to kind of give back to classrooms and, the baskets that I create specifically cater it to like a school or a classroom who maybe, has some kids that would like to have some great things for the holidays. And so far we've done a few schools and a few teachers that we worked with. And in particular, there was a one student who we were able to give some baskets to. And there were some like gift cards and clothes and shoes. And this is all brand new stuff. And so the student was, they actually sent us a note just thanking us and really expressing how they felt, so special with how individualized the basket was. Oftentimes I'll ask families like for the kids' names or like different characteristics about the child to kind of make it a little personal. And so the youth just shared like how special they felt, like that we knew their name and that we personalized the things in the baskets according to the things they like. And after that, we were able to connect with the family and we're able to kind of add them to our continuous registration list for our events. So I think beyond just kind of like the individualized stories, what I've noticed is this has grown kind of like into like a family, when you have consistent people, staying within the organization and the events that we do, you start to feel like it's a larger company a larger family and a larger purpose. And so those type of things, just seeing how excited they were about, maybe something that took me about 5 to 10 minutes to make, but the fact that it had such a positive impact on a child and further, wanted them to continue to connect with us was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like everyone deserves to be happy, especially kids. It's like, especially kids, because they can't really control much. Like they haven't decided, made many big decisions in their lives. So at the very least, they deserve to be happy.
Absolutely.
And these baskets that you're talking about, I gotta see them. I'll have to do some research and have you send me some photos. But
I absolutely will. Yeah. I mean, although it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm very like picky and kind of specific about how it's done. I think presentation is really important.
Absolutely, it is.
Just as that child had that wonderful experience, like I want that same experience for every child that opens their basket. So it is a little tedious, and sometimes when I have my team working on them, they kind of look at me like, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want the love like to be seen from start to finish, like even through them, witnessing their basket and how it's personalized and opening it, just want that warm, fuzzy feeling for any child. So
wow. That's amazing. So people that are listening and want to get engaged or learn more, first of all, where could they find you? And then we'll get into like the type of engagement you look for. So where's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, so we are on social media on both Facebook and Instagram. Our social media page is the Gladys Giving Project. So my first name, and then Giving, and then Project. And we're pretty, active on both of those pages. So you can definitely follow us and like us, connect with us there. And then you're also welcome to reach out to us via email. Our email is gjameshgivingproject@gmail.com. So those are kind of like the primary places right now. We also have a YouTube, but we're not as active on there, but it's also the Gladys Giving Project. So those are kind of like our best channels right now.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, and then the types of engagement that you look for, like donations, people that provide awesome things for the baskets, community partnerships. What do you usually look for?
I mean, we welcome it all, honestly. It's as I'm sure it takes a village to get things like this done, and oftentimes, sometimes when specific things are asked for us, we just don't have it all on our own. And so being able to, have donors that are like, yeah, we'll donate coats, we'll donate food, we'll donate, money towards this cause. I mean, it just helps make, things a lot easier and the amount of impact we're able to do. So we welcome, donations as far as, resources or specific like care items, or, oftentimes we love to partner. Maybe if there's already an organization who's kind of fulfilling the same mission or purpose, partnering together is amazing. But yeah, just honestly, I'm one of those people that like welcomes it all.
Yeah. Come to you with some ideas of how somebody could help, and you're all for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you never know, what a family could be in need of. And so I generally am that person that will accept everything. And I always tend to find, someone who can be blessed with it. So yeah, sponsorships, partnerships, donations, volunteering your time. I think that right now is probably like one of the biggest things that we would be so grateful for is just the time. Sometimes having enough hands and feet to kind of operate these things is definitely needed. So
amazing. Well, Gladys, I usually end by one last question. Is there anything that either we missed or that you want to leave us with? Any truth bomb you want to drop, whatever it comes to mind before we wrap up here?
I just want to say that, I'm just so grateful for this platform. Definitely, Joseph, what you're doing is amazing. And, just being able to connect with other like-minded organizations and hear about the great things that they're doing. I've been able to watch a few already, and it's just so amazing that there's so much impact happening in the world and so many people doing great things. But I'm just super, super grateful.
Well, you're one of them. You're one of them doing the great things. So absolutely. You're crushing it.
and it's just great. I mean, I've always said that, I know I had purpose and meaning in this world. And so the Gladys Giving Project is really allowing me to see that. And so I'm just grateful for those who continue to support me and connect with me to be able to help the community, because that's what it's all about.
Amazing. Well, Gladys, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. We're honored to share the work that you're doing. And people that are listening, get engaged. If this sounds something that you could provide, either your time, talent, treasure, testimony, whatever, any ideas, bring them to Gladys and you guys could talk about it.
Awesome. Yes. We're always looking for like more ways to support, or it's like you said, if people have other like event ideas or causes that we support, we'd be down to partner or connect with you about it.
Amazing. Well, Gladys, thanks again so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. If you know of a great organization or individual leaving a positive impact, we'd love to tell their story. Check us out and contact us at gtzp.org. Don't forget, for more stories like this, you could also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Instagram followers, our link trees in the bio. And for podcast listeners, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.